Okay, in this video, let's set up the second patch on the tetrachords using CV. We're going to learn how to link CV outputs to tracks and make multiple patterns, and how to unlink tracks from track 1. So let's get started. First of all, let's initialize the song. So hold song and press reset, or hold song and press shift. Now, if you look at the tracks, by default, track 1 is assigned to CV out 1. But we can have multiple CV outs assigned to a single track. The way to do this is by pressing shift and holding track. You can see a little CV there, which is the shift function of track. So press shift, hold it, and then press track. Now we're in the CV assignment of track 1. So the RGB buttons up the top here tell you which CV outs are assigned to track 1. So right now it's just 1, but if I press 2, it will assign CV out 2 to track 1, and I can assign them all to track 1. The bottom row of buttons assign gates to the CV outputs. So I can assign 3 CV outs and 1 gate output if I want, or any combination. The gate output is useful if you're triggering the tetrachords just using MIDI and you want a gate to trigger a VCA or a filter. You can get a gate from that information on one of the CV outputs. But I already have a gate or a trigger here, so I don't need it. I'm just going to use all 4 CV outs chained to track 1. Now what I can do is I can plug all 4 CV outs into the volts per octave inputs of my quad oscillator, and I can start creating 4 voice patches that are completely in tune. So I've already tuned this oscillator up, but if you don't know how to tune, go check out the tuner video. And now I just need a trigger, which I'll plug in to trigger track 1. And if I input some notes and go to chord mode, this is a single note playing on 4 oscillators. I can add another voice, another one, another one. So I have a 4 voice chord playing on the modular. I can add a bit of slew to this. So if I press and hold shift and turn this slew knob, when I change notes, it will slew between the notes. So that's how to create polyphonic patches, if you like, and how to link CV outputs to tracks. What I'm going to show you now is how to set up multiple patterns. So if we say have a chord on pattern 1, and this collection of notes is what I'm calling pattern 1, and you can see in normal operation the tetrachords shows you what pattern you're on with this pill here. So we're on pattern 1. I can make a new pattern by pressing and holding pattern and pressing the right button, which will copy those notes to the next available pattern. Now I'm on pattern 2. I can edit this pattern and make another one. And one more. Now I have 4 patterns that I can move between using the left and right buttons. But I don't have to just use the left and right buttons. I can also use CV to control those movements. So by default, Mod 6 is set up to receive triggers, and every time it hears a trigger, it will move to the next pattern. So if I plug in a trigger to Mod 6, oh, it's a bit fast. Every time it hears a trigger, it will move to the next pattern. So that's how to set up multiple patterns. And these are contained within a progression. You can learn more about that in the Song and Progressions section, and also more about patterns in the Pattern section of the manual. Okay, now I'm going to set up two voice tracks. So right now I have one track with 4 voices. I'm going to go to the second track, and I'm going to assign 2 CV outs to the second track. So hold shift, press second track, and then press these 2. So now the first track is controlling the first 2 CV outs, and the second track, the second 2. We can only have 2 voices. So I'm just going to stop it moving, and I'm going to trigger the second track using this trigger. And the second track, I'm going to make a chord, and the first track, I'm going to make an ARP. So if I move using the encoder, they'll all move together. But maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want the second track to be independent of the first track. So that's where the link comes in. So right now, all of the tracks by default are linking to track 1. So when I make changes, as in when I move, they're all going to change. Because they're all linked. But if I go to track 2 and change it to independent, when I move track 1, track 2 stays where it was. And likewise, when I move track 2, track 1 stays where it was. So you can start getting really nice chord changes underneath melodies that are moving independently of each other. You can learn more about Link in the Link video. And that's the second patch on the tetrachords using the CV outputs.